Coming up, the COVID-19 pandemic has certainly impacted the housing market, with home buyers now searching for more work-at-home space. Keller Williams Realty broker Greg Cooper explains that and other trends in home buying and what to expect for the remainder of 2020. Plus, West Central Indiana, the state's newest 21st century talent region. Terre Haute Chamber of Commerce President Kristen Craig will talk about what that means. Also, she has the latest scoop on a new convention center and casino in Vigo County. And the average cost of a water leak repair can run more than $10,000. But Indiana-based Peril Protect says its in-home monitoring system that uses smart sensors to detect leaks before they happen can make a difference. We'll show you how it works. Details on those stories and much more ahead on this edition of Inside Indiana Business. Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gary Dick. The housing market had been on a roll in Indiana. Record sales fueled by low mortgage rates, creating tight inventory in markets all over Indiana. Then the pandemic hit, and while it has slowed the real estate market, you may be surprised at how things are holding up as we head into the second half of 2020. Let's turn now to Keller Williams Realty broker Greg Cooper for a look at what's trending, including relocations to Indiana. Greg, as always, welcome back to the show.
Great to be here, Gary.
Okay, in the spring when this thing first started, no one knew what to expect or where things were going. We've had a few months now to kind of weigh in and see how things are. In your view, how is the housing market, residential real estate market, holding up in Indiana?
Well, we've really got a 10th grade economics lesson playing out in front of us as far as the housing market is concerned, Gary. We have massively low interest rates, in some cases in the 2.6 to 2.7% marks. And we have a very low inventory. We have low inventory and low money, low inventory and low mortgage money to borrow. Those two things have continued to drive really a red hot housing market in most price points across central Indiana and all of Indiana, I guess we should say, through the first half of 2020.
Wow, 2.7 and 2.6 on the mortgage rates, unbelievable. Okay, let's talk about some of the trends, COVID trends, if you will. One of them, relocations, continuing to in part drive the market. We're getting folks from Illinois, big economic development strategy to pull companies from there, but also from California.
Yeah, most people would not think that Californians would be looking to move to Indiana. We do have snow, we don't have an ocean. So most people would not think that that would be a big place where people are relocating from. But as this whole COVID thing has about people, working from where they are and whatever that may be. So we have a lot of people from California because we're so affordable. Los Angeles market, San Francisco market, Sacramento market, a lot of people are moving here from the West Coast because the cost of living is terrific and they can work from anywhere.
One of the other trends we're seeing, Greg, and I guess it's not surprising, those folks looking to buy are really looking for more at-home office space.
Yeah, it's a huge deal. You know, as COVID has drug on, Gary, and it's been more to be in those home offices in the fall, or maybe a lot longer than that. We've got parents, sometimes two parents, working from the home. We've got kids trying to do homeschooling, e-learning. So that demand for work at home, school at home space, holy cow, has it skyrocketed in the last 60 to 90 days.
Greg, give us an idea on inventory, because I know you and I have talked on a number of occasions over the last really 2 years, basically, at how tight inventories were in central Indiana and really in markets all over the state. Has that inventory situation changed much?
No, and it hasn't. And as long as mortgage rates stay as low as they are, Gary. But let me see if I can put this in a real simple perspective for everybody. Ultimately, we have about 40% less inventory than we had 5 years ago. So we have 100 home buyers trying to buy 60 houses. That's the clearest I can make it. And just imagine, if you're trying to buy a home, you're competing with that kind of a battle right now.
Wow. Would you term it really a seller's market?
Absolutely a seller's market. And it doesn't mean that sellers don't have to participate in the process in order to get to the finish line. Inspections and appraisals are still significant challenges because the market is so imbalanced towards sellers. Sellers don't want to make a lot of repairs, and they don't really care about appraisals. They just want to get their money. But buyers, obviously, if they're going to pay full dollar or pay 110% of full dollar, they want things to be fixed on the inspection, and they want the appraisals to come in at value, or those two things, those three things, don't really match up with getting the process completed.
Okay, Greg, I want to get you to look into the crystal ball into the second half of 2020, maybe into 2021. Market good now, but no doubt the COVID impact with unemployment or employment, lack of employment, number of people out of jobs, more businesses, frankly, they're going to fail. There's no question about that. Long-term impact, what do you see going through the rest of this year into next year?
Let's start with home mortgage rates. They're not going up anytime soon because that's the big tool that our Federal Reserve and our federal officials have to keep the economy headed in the right direction. So I don't see them being above 3 before the end of this year or early next year. We have a little thing called a presidential election out there, and that is kind of on the back burner in a lot of ways because this whole COVID issue has been so significant. But I think when you start to look at the issue of unemployment and the effect of the long-term unemployment, coupled with a lot of uncertainty with the presidential election, I think we have a very uncertain housing market ahead, but the mortgage rates are going to continue to drive sales. It's not going to go away, Gary. It will be something different in 6 months and 8 months than it is today, but it's not going to go away. All
right, Greg Cooper, as always, some great perspective. Really appreciate it, Greg. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you. It's been great to be here.
All right. Well, one of the largest privately held companies in Indiana is expanding its central Indiana operations. Palmer Trucks will invest more than $17 million to acquire and equip the former Celadon Group headquarters on the east side of Indianapolis. The company says the 140,000 square foot facility will house a diesel technician training center, parts warehouse, corporate offices, and a full service Kenworth dealership. The company says the investment also includes a renovation of an existing West Side dealership and will mean the creation of up to 220 jobs by the end of 2022.
America, we really looked at how we could better serve customers across the country as well as local, and therefore it made a lot of sense to look at the east side of town and make this investment.
Now, the new facility is expected to be fully operational this fall. Palmer Trucks employs more than 650, including 350 people here in Indiana. The company has already begun hiring for diesel technicians, parts logistics, sales, and support positions. West Central Indiana getting a big boost this week, being designated the state's newest 21st century talent region. What it means for Terre Haute and nearby communities, aggressive efforts to attract, develop, and connect Hoosier talent. That's when we come back. Here's what's making news now around Indiana. Brought to you by Chapman Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing. The man for all seasons, Chapman. ChapmanHeating.com. Well, Evansville-based Old National Bancorp is partnering with Anderson-based nonprofit lender Bankable and the Mid-States Minority Supplier Development Council to promote and support minority business enterprises. Old National says the partnership will provide flexible financing and business development resources to certified MBEs within Indiana, the bank providing $50,000 to launch that partnership. Tennessee-based Kinko Logistics Services plans to open a fulfillment and distribution center in the River Ridge Commerce Center in Jeffersonville. The company planning a 250,000 square foot leased facility to help serve a growing demand for e-commerce products. Kinko operates more than 50 warehouses throughout the country. Big things are happening in West Central Indiana. The state has just designated the Terre Haute area as its newest 21st century talent region. Meantime, co-working space Launch Terre Haute has just announced a major partnership with the Terre Haute Chamber of Commerce, not to mention a couple of big projects underway, a casino and convention center. For more, I'm pleased to welcome Terre Haute Chamber of Commerce President Kristen Craig with details on what is fueling momentum in West Central Indiana. Kristen, welcome as always to the program.
Thank you, Gary. I appreciate being here.
You are physically at Launch Terre Haute right now, so I'll ask you about that co-working space that launched several years ago there in Terre Haute to really fuel innovation and technology in the region. The Chamber is connecting with Launch Terre Haute. Talk about the partnership and what that's all about.
Sure. So it's really exciting for us. Launch Terre Haute has a great reputation in the community and has been building entrepreneurs and providing that co-working space. And now this is just an opportunity for the Chamber and Launch to work a little bit closer together. It's really forming that kind of one-stop shop. If you're a business person, if you're looking to expand, if you're looking to, develop those entrepreneurial skills, you come to Launch. You can get us all into the network. It's an exciting partnership.
Okay, that's a partnership that was just recently announced. Also, just this week, state of Indiana designating West Central Indiana, Terre Haute, Vigo County, several counties there, as its newest 21st century talent region. What will that mean for efforts there in West Central Indiana and the Wabash Valley?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we were the state's 7th talent region, so we're excited to be part of that network. Really, there's so many exciting regional things happening in our area. This is just another way to align them and bring them together. The whole focus of 21st Century Talent is about attracting, developing, and connecting talent. We're the home of several higher education institutions, so this is incredibly important for us to be able to connect on this way and be part of this state initiative.
And Kristen, you bring up a good point, because when you look at Indiana State, Rose-Hulman, St. Mary's got a major Ivy Tech presence there, among others. Really the convergence of all those academic institutions really makes Terre Haute unique.
Absolutely. I mean, that is really, in many ways, the heart and soul of our community. And so we've always been trying to figure out that, that exact way of being able to connect with that talent. And this is just going to give us another way in order to be able to do that by kind of identifying a roadmap. Where do we want to go? What positions do we want to develop? And this is how we're going to get there. Okay,
a couple big projects currently underway. One talked about for a long time is finally underway now, a new casino on the east side. Terre Haute there in Vigo County. Where do things stand with the casino? And importantly, how do you see that impacting? Because I know there are efforts around the airport with an airport gateway and an east side corridor, anticipating some business activity there.
So thrilled that the casino is, really starting to move forward now. We still anticipate having a fall groundbreaking. It'll take 12 months to construct after that. But what we're seeing right now, as you mentioned, is some development in the area. That's going to be a huge opportunity for growth on the east side of our city. So the airport has really stepped up and created a east side airport gateway that's looking at some development standards, looking at how best to develop things in that area. That we can to support the development and growth of the casino. It's going to be huge.
Well, in addition to that, a major renovation of Hulman Center about to wrap up. There's a new convention center that probably a couple of years away in downtown Terre Haute. We'll have you back on, Kristen, to talk about that in the future. Kristen Craig, the president of the Terre Haute Chamber, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, as always, Gary.
All right. Well, water leaks can run up thousands of dollars in repair bills. Next, we introduced you to Peril Protect, a new Indiana-based company which says its high-tech sensors can detect leaks and immediately alert homeowners. It's time to go inside innovation, brought to you by Allegiant, pioneering safety. Well, detecting water leaks in your home is going high-tech thanks to Indiana-based Peril Protect. Now, the new company says it has created an in-home water loss monitoring system that combines smart water leak sensors, immediate text and email alerts when a leak is detected, and a 24/7 call center, and a lot more, too. With more on the business model behind Peril Protect, pleased to welcome Program Manager Isaiah Blackburn with more. Isaiah, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me on today. I appreciate the opportunity.
Okay, give us an idea. You've just launched in March, so a brand new company. United Farm Family Mutual Insurance Company is your parent company, and that was really the driver for creating this technology, is to find ways to help consumers.
Absolutely correct. As you mentioned, United Farm Family Mutual is our parent company. The idea was developed by employees because insurance by its very nature is reactive. So we have a deep understanding of the toll that water losses can take on customers. So the idea was to develop an independent company that was proactive, prevent water losses from the start to help the customer in their home.
Yeah, absolutely. Thousands of dollars can be the tab for leaks. Talk about how Peril Protect works, because it combines technology with a number of other things too, email, text alerts, 24/7 response as well.
Absolutely. So yes, the system itself is comprised of 3 parts that work in concert with each other to help prevent and address water losses right at the beginning. So the in-home system is a DIY system composed of a hub and a sensor network. They arrive to the customer in a pre-configured. So when the customer receives the package, it's a DIY setup, takes 5 minutes to install. Flip a switch, they connect to each other into the data network. It is not Wi-Fi based, it is data based, so it will always be connected. Set the sensors and forget them. In the event of a water loss, the sensors will pick up the leak and the customer is notified via text. And we also simultaneously notify a 24/7 call center that reaches out to the customer to identify the source of the leak and also to ask if they need assistance. If they do need assistance, we will reach out to the contractor network available that we can put them in touch with to help get somebody out there immediately to help address the problem. Because the sooner we get on those losses, the total loss is reduced.
Wrap up. We just only have about 20 seconds left now, but who's your market here? Is it individual to the consumer, or some other maybe insurance companies interested as well?
Sure. Yeah, we've actually, our model is direct to the consumer, but we've had multiple insurance companies reach out to us to see how we could fit in with their programs to help reduce their customers' costs. So for instance, the first to set up a discount for their customers for installing a system, the Peril Protect system. And then we also have conversations going with others to help identify how we can lower the cost or offset the cost for their customers and get them installed in their homes to help protect and alert them to losses before they become losses, quite honestly.
All right, innovative device. Isaiah Blackburn is program manager at Peril Protect. Isaiah, thanks for joining us, and good luck with the startup. Good luck with the technology as well.
Thank you very much for having me on. I appreciate the opportunity.
All right. Well, another Hoosier company has found a way to pivot during the pandemic. Hamilton Exhibits has moved from the event and conference business to helping schools and restaurants like the Legend Classic Irvington Cafe prepare to reopen safely. We get details from Hamilton Exhibits owner Dan Cantor. Well, Hamilton Exhibits is a family-owned Indianapolis-based company with a history going back more than 7 decades. It started by building floats for the 500 Festival Parade, but has grown into one of the nation's leading event marketing companies with an elite list of clients, many with roots right here in Indiana. The COVID-19 pandemic has hit the education, restaurant, and event industries with dramatic implications. That's when Hamilton Exhibits realized it had to pivot to adjust to the quote-unquote new normal. With more, pleased to be joined by Hamilton Exhibits owner and CEO Dan Cantor. And Dan, welcome to the show.
Good to be with you. Thank you very much, Gary.
Dan, I teed it up a little bit, but Hamilton Exhibits, the history dates back, post-World War II, but you've really grown into a leading event and marketing company.
Yes, formed in 1947 by one of the Hamilton brothers, Renzi Hamilton, and his father-in-law, Sterner Fawcett. It was grown nicely, as you mentioned, doing displays and floats through the 1970s when they were joined by Renzi's brother, Kenny. Our team purchased Hamilton from Kenny in 1990 and evolved it into an event marketing company on a global scale. We are very fortunate to be successful in that market.
Yeah, Dan, COVID has impacted so many industries. Talk about the impact on the event business and how dramatic that's been.
It's been incredibly dramatic on a global scale, but so first quarter was extremely robust for everybody. We were going 200 miles an hour, and we basically hit a brick wall. So, substantial unemployment in our industry, and everything. Live events were canceled.
Yeah, and you've furloughed some workers. You were at about 100. You furloughed a number of workers, but you've pivoted in part to keep as many people on as possible, doing some things, as an example, in the restaurant business. And I know in particular, the Legend Classic in Irvington is one place where you're doing some things to help them in the reopening process.
Our people like to do custom installations like that, and the Robertsons were very gracious to allow us to do that in their facility, and so that was a lot of fun because our folks were allowed to design and install some acrylic barriers and such that I think complement the environment. Much of the acrylic work that we do is much more standardized than that for offices and food service environments, but we're focused largely on schools now. And the needs that they have going forward in order to reopen safely.
Yeah. We'll talk about that. Talk about the schools, because obviously systems all over, not only Indiana, but the country, struggling with opening and reopening and what's going to happen there. Talk about your efforts to help school systems in that process.
Right. The CDC and the state health departments have both suggested strongly the inclusion of isolation spaces in school environments. So not feeling well or symptomatic can go to an isolated space that's safe out of the public view, and to wait for their parent or guardian to pick them up. These are modular units, very cost effective. School maintenance folks can put them together, or we can if necessary. And they're in a number of configurations and are starting to be well received. Our first shipments begin next week.
All right, Dan Cantor, an owner at Hamilton Exhibits, a company pivoting, doing some innovative things in a number of industries, including the school sector and restaurants as well. Dan, thanks very much for joining us. We look forward to talking to you soon.
Thanks very much. Good to be here.
All right. Well, looking for a way to relieve stress during the pandemic? How about a first-of-its-kind, state-of-the-art aromatherapy device made right here in Indiana? Business of Health reporter Kylie Valletta details a Columbus-based company coming up. Well, it's a new education initiative at Indiana Wesleyan University. The school has launched an online workforce training and certificate program for in-demand fields like manufacturing and logistics. The cost? $50. Learn how Upskill Forward works in this week's Eye on Education.
Implementation and adoption of telehealth is imperative. I guess that kind of goes along with how we address patient care delivery in a situation like a pandemic.
That's Indiana Rural Health Association CEO Kara Veal on how COVID-19 has underscored the importance of telehealth for rural communities all over the state. Veal has been on the job less than a month, taking over during the pandemic, which has brought unprecedented challenges. One of the biggest challenges, keeping rural hospitals and health partners aware of constantly changing government regulations and recommendations.
Being able to educate our partners and our hospitals, our rural hospitals, on the changes in the waivers and regulations that are implemented or removed as a result of declared state of emergency in the pandemic. So we are doing a lot of education about how we can deliver care in the midst of the pandemic. So it definitely puts COVID-19 and the pandemic in the forefront of everyone's mind.
While the pandemic is a top priority, Veal says the organization does not want to lose sight of its other key health issues facing rural communities in Indiana, including substance abuse and infant mortality. The daily stresses of the pandemic can take a toll on your health and well-being. A small pharmaceutical company in Columbus is launching a natural product it says can help people take a deep breath and find a few moments of calm. Business of Health reporter Kylie Valletta has more. Kylie, over to you.
Thank you, Gary. Family-owned Blair X Laboratories has already tallied some business success stories, including Simply Saline and Boudreaux Butt Paste, and that's in the diaper cream aisle. Its newest product is Breathe Free Essentials, a portable aromatherapy device it says can help people relax and de-stress even when they're on the go. It was developed in Columbus, and it's also being manufactured there. Jeff Logston is president of Blair X Laboratories, and he joins me now to tell us more about the company's newest addition to its portfolio. Jeff, thanks for being on the show today.
Well, thanks so much for having us. We're excited to be here.
Before we talk about your newest product, give us a short introduction to Blair X Laboratories and what your company really specializes in.
Absolutely. So Blair X Laboratories is an innovative pharmaceutical brand owner, marketer, and distributor, providing quality products for the consumer, pharmaceutical, and professional markets since 1976. So along with our sister company, Applied Laboratories, as you said, we are a family-owned company located here in Columbus, Indiana. We specialize in developing, manufacturing, innovative products, packages, and delivery systems with a specific expertise in saline products and the unique bag-on-valve delivery system. So while Blair X has owned or developed many products over its history, as you said, we are best known for our predecessor brands, Simply Saline and Boudreaux's Butt Paste.
Okay, so let's talk about your new product, Breathe Free Essentials. And you mentioned your expertise in innovative packaging, and this product really capitalizes on that. So tell us about Breathe Free Essentials and explain what it is.
Well, we're very excited about the launch of our new brand and new product line, Breathe Free Essentials. It's a personal portable aromatherapy device that combines 100% natural essential oils with moisturizing saline. So Breathe Free Essentials utilizes first of its kind pure hail technology, which activates compressed air as energy to disperse a continuous nebulizer-like mist in a cordless handheld device, just like this. So instead of the messy and cumbersome traditional preparation of essential oils, the clunky, outdated diffusers, trying to find a spot to place those, a spot to plug in, and having the essential oil mist fill the entire space, Breathe Free Essentials allows you to create a personal retreat whenever or wherever you need for the on-the-go lifestyle. So let me show you how it works. So here I have our Clarity Blend, which utilizes rosemary, sandalwood, peppermint, and eucalyptus essential oils. You merely take the can, place the adapter and face mask, you turn the can or turn the actuator to activate the continuous flow of mist. Breathe in deeply through your nose, use it as long as needed, and when you're finished, turn the actuator to stop the flow. It's that easy.
Yeah, and it really is fascinating, the kind of mist or fog that comes out. And one thing that really sets your product apart from its competitors, there are other portable aromatherapy devices on the market. You say is that it really does include the saline, which is has the health benefit. So explain how the saline helps set your product apart.
Absolutely. So in addition to the Pure Hail technology delivery system, our unique use of saline as the delivery base for the essential oils makes Breathe Free Essentials unlike other aromatherapy products in the market. So the saline moisturizes nasal passages and sinuses while it delivers 100% natural essential oils. Many other products will only deliver the aroma, so you're not going to have the moisturizing benefits of saline.
And you also have taken a unique marketing strategy with this new product using social media influencers. Explain what your strategy has been.
Well, the world's become truly digital in the very recent past, and we wanted to make sure we were participating in that space. So when we decided to launch this product, we decided to do so initially in e-commerce only. We did so we could more personally deliver the brand, our message, the benefits to those using it. So in that digital space, we feel like social media influencers play an important role and delivering that message and truly showing the must-see-it-to-believe experience of using breathe-free essentials. It was our desire for people that are eventually going to use a product to see and hear about it from those that they know and those that they trust, so that they can see those benefits, the ease of use, and the innovation of the product. And we also saw that approximately 90% of social media users do so on a mobile device. So we feel that meeting the consumers where they are creates a seamless experience, from education, awareness, then to product accessibility. So you're definitely going to see our presence increase on social media, especially on Instagram, here in the coming months.
Okay, in just a few seconds left, Jeff, but this bag-on-valve technology and breathe-free, do you think this is going to open the door to some other products at Blair X Laboratories?
Absolutely. So the packaging system, the Pure Health technology, gives us the flexibility to address the preventative healthcare and self-help and self-care health markets. Supplements. However, the healthcare market right now is CBD, and we feel that it would be difficult to overlook that. So we've been working with local quality CBD as we're developing a unique blend for breathe-free essentials that we hope to launch yet this year.
All right, Jeff. Well, we could all certainly figure out new ways to de-stress right now. Thanks for being on the show today.
Thanks so much for having us.
And Gary, back to you.
Interesting report. Thanks very much, Kylie. Well, Caesars Entertainment and El Dorado Resorts have completed their merger, creating the largest casino and entertainment company in the country, and it includes several properties here in Indiana. The combined company will operate casinos in 16 states under the Caesars name. The New Jersey Gaming Commission approving the $17 billion deal following approval by the Indiana Gaming Commission. In approving the deal, the IGC requires Caesars to divest several Indiana properties, including Horseshoe Hammond Casino, Caesars Southern Indiana Casino in Florence, and Tropicana in Evansville. The new company will maintain ownership of Indiana Grand Racing and Casino in Shelbyville and Harrah's Hoosier Park Racing and Casino in Anderson. Up next, a radical new education initiative at Indiana Wesleyan University.
Get relevant training and develop skills for in-demand fields like logistics, retail, manufacturing, aerospace, and automation.
Upskill Forward could bridge a huge job gap for all of those industries. How it works and why the starting cost is only $50. That's this week's Eye on Education report. Also ahead. South Bend-based audio technology startup Resonado gets a huge boost to move its flat-core speaker technology to market. We'll hear from Resonado's CEO, Brian Cho. Well, Indianapolis-based Lumina Foundation is committing $15 million over the next 3 years to fund a fund for racial justice and equity. The foundation says the funding will help advance social justice initiatives by supporting projects that improve the climate around race relations on college campuses. Grants awarded by the foundation include $1 million to support the Race and Equity Center at the University of Southern California, funding for American Public Media's APM Reports to explore racial issues on campuses through a series of podcasts and an hour-long documentary, and 19 grants to colleges and universities working to improve conditions for students of color. Also, several grants to Indianapolis nonprofits working towards racial justice. Indiana Wesleyan University offering a new educational opportunity that the school says gives students a real bang for the buck. Upskill Forward provides access to online training programs designed for specific in-demand careers in areas like aerospace, automotive, and commercial industries. The starting cost, just $50. We get details now on how it all works from Indiana Wesleyan National and Global Chancellor Matt Lucas. And Matt, as always, welcome to the program.
Hey, thank you, Gary. Glad to be back.
Okay, let's talk about this upskill program. You know, I know universities, organizations, all types of folks around the state of Indiana really focusing on this whole upskill issues in light of the pandemic and so many people laid off and furloughed. The upskill initiative, part of a broader initiative called the Talent Ladder. What's it all about?
Yeah, thanks, Gary. You know, the Talent Ladder is kind of our response to the fact that not everyone needs a degree, but everyone needs an education. So we wanted to support Hoosiers and give them the best opportunity to further their careers. So we developed the Talent Ladder as an alternative pathway for those seeking an education. So the Talent Ladder does four things. It bridges the gap between training and education, training solutions to employees and organizations. 3, it solves the pervasive talent attraction and retention. It offers training programs that attract, develop. So we wanted, our passion is to create broader pathways, select. Learn more about that at the Talent Ladder tagline that we think just resonates with the degrees get promotions. And that's kind of the whole ethos around what we're trying to do.
Matt, as you look at the need for this, we're going to talk about the cost in a moment because that's a big attractor, but the need for this, certainly even before the pandemic, there's a big need, a talent need in the state of Indiana, especially in some of these in-demand industries. But now with the pandemic, what's the need for this kind of program?
Yeah, you know, as I said, a lot of people don't need a degree. Skills so they can get into the workforce, and sometimes an entire degree is overwhelming. So we've kind of built a program that's stackable, that gives you what you need in time so you can get the job. And then if you would decide to come back for further education because that's helpful for you, you can do that. So we've seen that in response to a lot of the businesses in the areas that they're struggling with being able to attract and retain qualified people. So this is a program we've been developing in partnership with businesses to kind of come alongside them and help them with that talent attraction and talent retention strategy.
Well, as you look at this, really two big attractive pieces of this, the cost starting at just $50. And then additionally, this is a program, this curriculum can be completed in a very short period of time.
Yeah, so one of the things we've run out of the Talent Ladder is what you're referring to is Upskill Forward. What we developed are some degrees or some certificates for specific programs. Aerospace, automotive, manufacturing, logistics is completely online and completely self-paced. At the end of going through the coursework, you take a nationally certified test that gives you a certificate that recognizes the completion. These certificates are created with the best-in-class experts around the country, what's actually needed for training. We're partnering with 180 Skills in developing this content, so it's industry-based standard curriculum. And we think it's just really is relevant for the marketplace. And what we love about this the most is that besides the price point of $50, is that we're actually recognizing up to 6 college credits. And we're about to launch 2 new associate degrees, one in manufacturing and the other in logistics. So these courses would actually fit into those programs. So you're getting a $1,700 value for $50.
Yeah, and Matt, very quickly, we're running out of time, but this is open to really anyone around the state of Indiana, right?
Yep, we're working with the Workforce Development Board and the governor's office and trying to get this out to as many people as possible.
Matt Lucas is Indiana Wesleyan University Chancellor for National and Global at the university. Certainly the university getting engaged and connected in the whole workforce issue. Matt, thanks as always, and we hope to see you very soon.
Hey, thanks, Gary. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, big news this week for South Bend-based audio technology startup Resonado. The company has signed a licensing agreement with Xylux, an audio design and manufacturing company headquartered in Taiwan. Resonado says its patented flat-core speaker technology, which was featured on the show several months ago, will be manufactured and initially incorporated into a range of Xylux soundbar products. Resonado co-founder and CEO Brian Cho says the deal validates the technology that was originally developed by him and his father in South Korea.
And the fact that this well-known industry leader is licensing our technology and partnering up with an early stage company of ours not only validates that our technology is real and that it's going to give them a competitive advantages, and 2, it's going to get our technology started, in that it's going now, a lot of customer will be experiencing our technology, will be touching and feeling it, and will be listening to it. So it's a big success for our company in that we got such a big company to work with us and is excited to work with us and help us get our technology and the company to the next level.
Some cool technology being developed at the University of Notre Dame. Resonado launched in 2017, and last year it became the official sound partner of Notre Dame athletics. Joe says that partnership was a key reason for securing this licensing deal. Well, up next, golf's future stars getting ready to tee off at Crooked Stick in Carmel for the Western Amateur, second oldest amateur championship in the world. That story when we come back. Well, this year's greatest spectacle in racing is going to look a lot different than when Simon Pagenaud took the checkered flag last year. A lot different. Not only will there be far fewer fans, Central Indiana will be able to watch the event on television for the first time since 2016. The Indianapolis Motor Speedway lifting the TV blackout for the 104th running of the 500 next month. The announcement made as IMS unveiled its plan for safely hosting the race. That includes a maximum of 25% of attendance and a requirement that fans wear face masks. In addition to the reduced attendance and mask requirement, the plan calls for reassigned seating to accommodate social distancing and temperature screening for everyone entering the track. All drinking fountains and misting stations will be removed. Well, in addition to the IMS race day plan, the 500 Festival says it is canceling all remaining in-person events for 2020. The nonprofit, which had previously postponed many of its events to August, says that decision to cancel made after extensive evaluation and out of an abundance of caution. Well, Crooked Stick Golf Club in Carmel is getting ready to host the next generation of golf stars. The Western Amateur tees off Monday and will feature a field of superstar collegiate golfers. The Western, the world's third oldest amateur championship, with past champions, including some of the biggest names in golf, names you may have heard of: Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, Jack Nicklaus, among others. The event will also give some much-needed focus and spotlight on Hamilton County. For more, we are pleased to be joined by 2020 Western Amateur co-chair Nick Dietz. And Nick, thanks for taking time to be with us.
Thanks for having me, Gary. It's nice to be back. I think it's been a couple years since we were here for the BMW Championship back in 2016.
Absolutely. The BMW, just one of many high-profile events, the PGA and many others, hosted by Crooked Stick, one of the great golf courses in our country. And this event, really, the Western Open, adds to that tradition, adds to that heritage that has been building for so many years at Crooked Stick.
It does. You know, this is kind of the amateur version of the BMW. The BMW brings the greatest professional golfers in the world to Central Indiana, and the Western Amateur will bring the greatest amateur golfers in the world to Central Indiana. We're going to have 6 of the top 10 amateur players in the world. We're going to have a great field of 156 players with most of the best college players in the world. And I think almost everybody can get in the country. There'll be a few international stars that won't be here due to the COVID restrictions, but we're really excited to have these great players at Central Indiana.
Yeah, well, we talk about the Western Amateur. As I said, it is steeped in tradition. Founded in 1899. Give us a little more flavor about this event and how important it is and how special it is in the world of golf.
Well, Gary, as you said, this will be the 118th Western Amateur. It is known as the second biggest amateur tournament in the country. It has developed some of the greatest champions, as you said: Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson. It's a grueling format where the players will start off at 156 players for 18 holes on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. They will cut the field from 156 players to 44 players who will play 36 holes on Thursday. It will then be cut to low 16 for match play, and they'll play 2 matches each on Friday and Saturday. So the champion will have played 36 holes 3 days in a row. And this is a format that's known as the toughest in golf. and to identify a true champion as it has in the past with these great prior champions.
Well, that is a grind indeed. Nick, as you look and you mentioned the impact of COVID, it's impacting a lot of the things that you're doing from a strategic and a planning standpoint, things changing. One of them being there will not be fans allowed for the event.
It is, Gary, as you said, the world's trying to move forward, but I think we're understanding more all the time that we need to do everything we can to make it safe. And the Western Golf Association and Crooked Stick have come up with plans that are changing all the time to make it safe. But unfortunately, we're not going to have general spectators for this event. Just like the tour does it now, it has no spectators. This tournament will have no general spectators. It will have the players, one member from their family are allowed to play, and that will be the limit that we're allowed to have next week.
Nick, in terms of the economic impact, I don't think this event necessarily was going to be a big economic generator, but one thing it does, it adds to Indiana, in particular, Central Indiana's prestige, its reputation as being an amateur sports and a sports capital in general. This is a real coup for Crooked Stick and Central Indiana to host this event.
It is. As you said, Indiana, especially Central Indiana, are known as the amateur sports capital of the world, and Crooked Stick has tried to do its part. We've hosted several amateur national championships in the past. This is a big national championship to host, and we just try to do our part to further the Pete and Alice Dye legacy that, they're founders. They've given so much to Crooked Stick, and we do everything we can to honor their memory and continue their tradition of giving back to the game of golf in Central Indiana.
I should mention Crooked Stick's contribution as well. The Western Golf Association runs the Evans Scholars Program, which is really a great program supporting so many young people in college over the years. I know Peyton Manning, I was fortunate to be in an event he was at there at Crooked Stick a few weeks ago. Crooked Stick will be contributing right to the Evans Scholars Program.
It is. As you said, Gary, the Evans Scholar Program gives full scholarships for tuition and housing to caddies who are so important to the game. And the Evans Scholars has given full scholarships to over 11,000 kids to go to college. They currently have 1,000 caddy young men and women in college that they're paying their full tuition and housing for. And, I believe in this charity, and I think all Crooked Stick does. We support it all we can. I think the two prior BMW championships, we gave over $3 million to help put caddies through college. And Crooked Stick, he still loves Indiana, loves Crooked Stick, and he came back as a supporter of this great charity and put on an event a couple of weeks ago. Due to that event that Peyton did for us, we're going to give somewhere between $75,000 and $100,000 to the Western Golf Association and the Evans Scholars Program to put more young men and women through college.
Great impact there, to be sure. The Western Open, or the Western Amateur, I should say, will be hosting some of the top golfers in the country, certainly in the world, in the week ahead at Crooked Stick. Nick Dietz is the co-chair of the 2020 Western Amateur. Nick, thanks for your leadership on this, and good luck with the event.
I appreciate having me on. We look forward to a great week next week.
All right, Nick, thank you. Well, the Builders Association of Greater Indianapolis has single-family building permits in Central Indiana, totaled 778 in June. That's a 20% increase from the same month last year. The organization says year-to-date permits in the 9-county region continue to trend upwards, remain about 12% over last year, but a couple of counties saw decreases. Marion County, the biggest drop in permits at 17%. Morgan County saw the biggest increase in permits at more than 200%. And I'll be right back after this. Stay with us. Coming up next week, meet the new president of DePaul University. Lori White is the first woman, and the university says the first person of color to serve as president there. She'll share her vision for the school and also what she sees as higher education's greatest challenges. Plus, the Indiana Hospital Association on the impact that COVID-19 is having on Hoosier hospitals, and Cardinal Publishers Group celebrating a big milestone. Learn how the pandemic is changing publishing and the art of making and distributing books. Those stories and a lot more coming up next week. Thanks for joining us. I'm Gary Dick. Go out and make it a successful week.
Inside Indiana Business with Gary Dick is a production of Grow Indiana Media Ventures with support from WFYI Productions.